this is a recipe that I got from, this is old school um, family recipe that I got from my parents and that they got from their parents, which are my grandparents, and then my great-grandparents. It's called chicken and dumplings. There's a chicken in there, and there's some giblets in there, well, gizzards in there, and there are some chicken feet in there. You know, back in the day, this is all we had to eat. We got the leftover pieces that nobody else wanted, and so we had to learn how to cook with pieces that nobody else wanted. So you'll see the finished product in just a few.
All right.
So what we have here is just regular flour, and I added a little bit of salt to it, just regular table salt, and then I added some all vegetable Crisco. That's what you put in there, and we're gonna put it on the side of the bowl, and we're gonna cut it in there. And I've already started. So what I mean by cutting in is just gonna take your bowl. And, you know, just kind of, I mix the salt in there and everything. You just take a little bit at a time and just kind of push the fork against the sides of the bowl until you mix it in there. It's going to come, just push it in there against the back of the bowl. And you stir it around. Take a little bit more. Push it in there, push it in there, just keep pushing it till it gets kind of crumbly. Push it in there, push it in there. What we're making is, well, my grandparents and great-grandparents used to call the pie bread. Well, this is going to be our dumplings that we're going to put on top of the chicken and dumplings, which we used to call pot pie, because they're little strips of pastry that you put in the pot with your meats. And like I said, we have the chicken feet and we have the gizzards because that's what they gave them to eat. So they tried to make something nice out of what they had. And you push that against there, keep going and going and going. And then we're going to add some hot water to this. So I'll be back in just a second. So I've just added some hot water in here, and I'm blending it with the dry ingredients. So if you need more, you just add more, because you want the dough to be slightly stiff. And we're going to roll it out in just a minute. So this is how we do. You see it's coming together as a ball. Just want to keep flipping that over, adding more. So I think we're going to need a little bit more water. So I'll see you back when I get it all together, and then we'll start rolling.
Okay.
Okay, so we got everything ready, so it's going to look a little wet. So we're going to sprinkle a little bit of flour that I have here on the side, and we're just going to kind of, you know, put it all together. You know, we don't need to knead it or anything like that. And see how that broke off there? I'm just going to take it and just put it over there. Take it, put it over there. We're going to section it off. Roll it a little bit. So, go there. And we're just going to section it off until we get manageable size pieces before we start the rolling process. Okay. So that's all we need to do. So make sure you got lots of flour down there. And what I do is I just take a regular glass, probably too shiny, and I just start rolling it. If you need a little extra flour, put it up there. And that's how you do it. Roll it out as thin or thick as you want. And this is usually about the size I do it. You don't want to put too much flour in there. And you don't want to have them too thick because you don't want, not unless you want thick noodles. I don't really care for the thicker noodles in my pie bread. So then you just take a little paring knife and then you just kind of cut how wide you want them. You don't want to cut, oh, by the way, I have aluminum foil here. And the aluminum foil, and on top of that, I just have some flour. And you just cut it. Just like that. All right. And you just add them to your plate. You can make them as long as you want to. It doesn't matter how long or short they are. And you continue this process until you get enough noodles and you put them in the pot when the pot has a slow boil. Okay? All right. This one's I had in there before. Okay, now I'm adding to the pot fresh dough. Just a few at a time. They can vary in width and all that. And I guess I got room for another little one over here. Okay? And then I come back and I just keep adding to the pot.
Whenever you're ready.
All right. Now we're going to try our, what we call our pot pie. Chicken and dumplings. And as you can see the chicken in there. You can see the noodles that I made. Some of them are pretty thin. You can see the chicken feet in there. Like I said, this is an old recipe from my great-great-grandparents, where they had to stay on plantations and farms and everything with and work. And after they were finished working, this is what they got in return with no pay. And so they had to make it good so that their family can eat. So those are the chicken feet, a couple of the noodles. You can make it as thick as you want. So a couple of the noodles. I don't really like the chicken itself. I really do like the gizzards and the chicken feet. Put some of that in there. And we're just going to try it. Got a little piece of skin in there. And I got a spoon and a fork because you're going to need both. Let's try the broth first. It's chicken broth in there. Like I said, you got some skin in there. You got some gizzards, chicken gizzards in there, and chicken feet that I had to clean and everything. And then my homemade noodles. So let's go ahead and try this broth. Just right. Not too salty or anything like that. It's delicious. Now we're going to try the noodles. You guys can see that. Good. Now for the fun part. We'll get one less scary because I know some people are afraid of them. Well, no, that one's scarier. Well, we'll just go ahead and have to eat that one. I should have got a something because the pot is so hot. You have to remember, lots of bones. Delicious. It's gelatinous and with the chicken flavor. And then let's try a piece of the gizzard. It's good, rich meat. So this is what our ancestors had to survive on. We eat this periodically to remind us. In my household, we eat this to remind us where we came from, how we grew up, and how we should appreciate everything that we have. Some people complain about what they don't have to eat and things like that. Some people don't have anything to eat. But you can just go ahead and be thankful for what you have. And, you know, we do this in remembrance of our grandparents. We're trying to keep this tradition alive. And that's why we pass it down from generation to generation. Hope you guys like my chicken pot pie, which some people call chicken and dumplings. Alright, thank you. And thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And blessings.